right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Pastor Haynes. Oh, man, I know you got a good word this morning.
Thank you for this, Rickey Smiley. Golden time of day. Frankie Beverly, you know you're dealing with my favorite today because all of us need to experience the golden time of day. What does Frank say? It's a metaphor for finding out who you are. And once you find out who you are, you recognize you're a bright and shining star. That's the golden time of day. Find, first of all, who you are, because in this life, you've got to define yourself for yourself, or you may end up being crushed into what other people believe about you. That is a wonderful quote from one of our great writers, and they basically are saying, if you don't know yourself for yourself, then other people will try to tell you who you are. I'll give it to you like this. If you don't know who you are, people will try to tell you who you are and force you to live down to their expectations. But when you know who you are, then you rise above what other people say about you. When you know who you are, you define yourself for yourself. When you know who you are, then you don't trip on what other people have to say. Why? Because you already know who you are, and that is the golden time of day. But it's not just the golden time of day when you know who you are, but then when you know who you are and that you are a bright and shining star, that's the golden time of day. When you see yourself as someone special, when you see yourself as someone uniquely created by God with purpose and power to make a difference in this world, that's the golden time of day. The Bible puts it like this: you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are a bright and shining star. And y'all, that's the golden time of day. But check this out. Once you find out who you are and know you're a bright and shining star, you do recognize that stars don't shine for themselves. Stars shine to give light and guidance to others. And that's what stars are for. Stars are not just about themselves. They're about making a difference in the darkness. And so go ahead, be somebody's star through service. Be somebody's star and make a difference. Be somebody's star and make this world a better place. That's why Martin King often quoted the song, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with the word or song, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. That's the word of the day. The golden time of day is when you find who you are and don't let other people tell you who you are. The golden time of day is when you go ahead and be that bright, shining star. And the golden time of day is when you shine in service to make the world a better place for others. I love it. That's the golden time of day.
Oh, man, thank you, Pastor Haynes.
Yes, sir.
Let the senior pastor of our Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Dallas, Texas, Pastor Haynes, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Hey, Rickey Smiley, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at FH Unscripted. I'm on Facebook, Frederick D. Haynes. My YouTube channel is Frederick Haynes. And Rickey Smiley, you done made my day, man.
I know you
made my day.
Hey, you the only pastor that had Frankie Beverly and May's book for the pastors for your pastor's anniversary.
You got that right. You better say it, man.
Anybody else would have had Pastor Shirley Caesar, but you bought in May's.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I love you, Pastor Haynes.
Love you, Ricky. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, that was a good song to wake everybody up. Oh, God. Yeah, 12 minutes after the hour, y'all, the segment's being bought by My Computer Career. That's right. If you don't absolutely love what you do, make sure you go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Got your front page right here. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I'm Eva Marcel here with a quick look at your The fighting and airstrikes between Israel and the Hamas continue. The number of deaths in Gaza has risen to 212 people, including 61 children. In Israel, 10 people have died so far. And yesterday, President Biden spoke with the Prime Minister of Israel and expressed support of a ceasefire. But analysis says that does not look very likely at the moment. Now, in other news, Florida politician Joel Greenberg, a longtime associate of Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, pled guilty on sex trafficking charges yesterday. And last but certainly not least, the Supreme Court agreed to hear a major abortion case out of Mississippi that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Now, if this court rules in favor of Mississippi, it could open doors to red states enacting laws that can ban abortion as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. All right, that was a quick look at your front page news. You can find me on all social media at Eva Marcille. Rock T, what's going on in sports?
Already, let the games begin. The NBA play-in tournament starts today. Man, we got the Charlotte Hornets versus the Indiana Pacers, 5:30 Central Time. Then the Washington Wizards play Boston Celtics at 8 p.m. Central Time. These games will help determine who's going to actually get into the playoffs as that 8th and final seed, man. LeBron James reaches another career milestone, 17 straight seasons averaging at least 25 points per game. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had 12 total seasons, just to let you guys know how big of a deal that is right there. And last but not least, man, legendary NBA Hall of Fame announcer Marv Albert, the voice of basketball, has decided to retire at the end of this 2021 season, man. 55 years calling games, 25 NBA All-Star games, 13 NBA Finals, the 1992 Olympics, 8 Super Bowls, Stanley Cup Finals, NFL games, horse racing, tennis, baseball, any sport. Marv Albert called games, man. He's a legend. Definitely a legend, man. One of the greatest of our time at the age of 79. He will be retiring at the end of this basketball season. There you have it.
Damn late to retire at 79. Damn.
If you love what you do.
What the hell you going to do at 79?
Hey, man, maybe you love what you do.
You should have kept going.
Might be a young 79.
Yeah.
Ride it on out.
Can't dive off a diving board at 79. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all I got, dog. Gary, what's up, man?
All right, y'all. Now, people are still talking about Bill Gates, y'all. There's more revelations coming out about Mr. Gates, and people are shocked about it. But the host of The View, honey, those girls said they are not at all surprised by the news that Bill Gates cheated on his soon-to-be ex-wife, and they're honestly saying, y'all, they particularly don't care. Now, they're saying that the topic came up yesterday on The View, y'all, after the news reports that in the process of divorcing Melinda Gates, Bill Gates, y'all, admitted to having an affair with an employee 20 years ago, y'all. And the question came up next, y'all, was simple. Was this going to tarnish his career and his legacy? And the women said, no, it's not about to tarnish his career. They say, now, you know, this guy saves countries, Joy Behar said. She said, I don't think that his personal picadillos have any effects negatively on what he does for the world with his money. And Joy said, honey, I am definitely a fan. And then she went on to say, I'm not judging people who commit adultery, but still do great things. So Miss Meghan McCain, honey, came on in and she had to say her thing. She said it was less about the good things Bill Gates has done and more about the fact that the affair isn't exactly shocking. When asked for her thoughts, she laughed and made it quite simple. Men think with their heads, she said. And then she went on to talk about other scandals and what have you. And she also said this, which was profound. She said, men in power cheat on their wives and water is wet. She said, and there's gambling, honey, in Casablanca, okay? She said, I'm sorry, but I mean, honey, she said, it's not revelatory, unquote. That's amazing. So in essence, they're saying, if you got money and stuff, cheat, honey. You can do whatever you want to do, honey. As long as you're doing good things for the world or whomever, honey, just cheat on your wives or your spouse, and nobody cares about it. So congratulations, honey, to the women on The View, honey, for saying these great things. All right, the color today is one of my favorite colors. My color today is Charmin. On the high end, you say Charmin, and on the low end, you say Beautiful White. That's your color for the day. Brad, what you got coming up next in the hot spot?
Somebody sent a cease and desist letter. I'm going to tell you all about it up next in the hot spot. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot.
You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show is the bottom of the hour. Brett, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brett Ted, and this is the Hot Spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. I don't know if y'all remember Arkansas Mo from Love and Hip Hop. He was dating Carly Rae on the Atlanta one. He's pleaded guilty to 6 counts of federal bank fraud. These charges were levied against Arkansas Mo due to the reality star misusing funds granted to him by a PPE loan. Now, the PPE was established in 2020 as a response to COVID-19, to the pandemic, and it's intended to help small businesses stay afloat and keep employees on the payroll. Well, since Arkansas Mo is the owner of a trucking company by the name of Flame Trucking, and the PPE granted to him was a $2 million loan. I mean, I didn't know people get that much. My goodness. How? They wouldn't have gave me that if I tried, if I was on my last leg. Anyway, however, it appears as though Arkansas Mo decided to use his federal assistance for different purposes. After being granted the $2 million PPE loan, he used the finances to fund luxurious expenses, such as about $85,000 in jewelry and 8 semi-trucks. He also roughly stashed $100,000 into various bank accounts and then used the rest of the loan to pay child support. So he could get 151 months behind bars. That's about 12 and a half years. So while facing that, they was going to give him a longer sentence because he was originally facing up to 30 years in prison. However, prosecutors are dropping an additional 14 charges thanks to his guilty plea. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Why would you do that and think you just not going to get caught?
Yeah, that's a lot. If you work at Pizza Hut, you can steal a pepperoni. You can't steal a whole pizza.
$2 million? That is a lot of money.
The whole pizza.
Damn.
Man, that's what I said. I'm looking like, how did he pull that off? I guess if you own a trucking company, my goodness. All right, y'all, moving on. Terrence Howard, y'all, he is not too happy about the recent release of his film Triumph. According to reports, he sent a cease and desist letter to Cinemark Digital Ignition Entertainment and Argonaut Entertainment Partners and others for allegedly using his name, image, and likeness within the movie Triumph without his permission. Now, it features Terrence and a couple co-stars from Breaking Bad, star R.J. Mike, but the inspirational sports film was inspired by a true story and released on April 30th of this year. But he sent this letter because the involvement with this film, it was conditioned upon the satisfaction of material monetary and non-monetary promises made by producers, which never happened. So in addition to that, Terrence's attorneys are claiming that the producers of the project acknowledged on April 15th, prior to the film's release, that their client's consent had not been obtained, which meant that the movie shouldn't have dropped 5 days later. So the cease and desist letter reportedly threatens legal action if the situation is not rectified. Y'all better make sure these people sign off on these films before you put them out like they won't sue y'all. That's his likeness, and I'm sure y'all using his likeness to promote the movie and didn't have his permission. Like, you can't do that. All right, y'all, we're gonna wrap up the hot spot right there. Coming up next, we got Special K with the news that you absolutely positively cannot use. And why don't y'all hit us up for them wake-up calls at 866-9-RICKY. That's 1-866-9-RICKEY. Time now, y'all, 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
You liar! I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 12 before the top of the hour, y'all. Special K got news you positively absolutely cannot use. What up, K?
Man, what up, Rick? It's an All Black Tuesday. That means I'm talking about things that all black people love. And one thing we love is our cars. Black people love cars. And black people love particular cars. Like white people, I don't think people really understand that white America buys cars based on different criteria than black people buy cars. White people buy cars based on practicality, purpose of use, reliability, safety ratings, and all that. I guarantee you, Rick, there ain't a black person nowhere ever been in a Subaru dealership because, you know, they read about the safety and crash reliability ratings of this car in Consumer Reports. Black people buy cars based on how good we can stun on you when we pull up at the church, in front of the barbershop, in front of the school, the hair salon, at the job. That's how we do it. That's how we get down. And black people have a relationship with our cars. You feel me? Right. Top black cars of all time. Black people have a relationship. We have a love affair with our whips.
Come on now.
Old school. Them Cadillac Eldorados. That Coupe de Ville. That Sedan de Ville. That was like,
there you go.
That was a black staple. Also,
that's what I drive right now. 95 Sedan de Ville, black on black, rag top.
You can hit anything and you will not get a scratch on you. Now the folks in the other car gonna be dead, but you ain't gonna get a scratch on you.
Right.
That Lincoln Continental, you know, black folks, them old black men had to get them that Lincoln Continental. Boy.
Yes, sir.
That Buick LeSabre, the Buick LeSabre, and its a sibling twin, the Oldsmobile Electra 225 was the technical name for it, but the actual name in the hood was that Deuce and a Quarter. That Deuce and a Quarter, boy. And then them 80s came around, you already know it was all about the Pontiac Grand Prix, the Chevy Monte Carlo, the Buick Regal, and the godfather of them all, the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, especially with that half.
I had one, 79, brown on tan. Brown on tan.
With that shift in between the seats.
Man, come on now. You can slide your girl over. She can ride next to you.
Man, let me tell you something. If you had an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme in the 80s, a dude could literally hit your woman and you wouldn't be as mad as if he had hit your car. Because you tell your woman, look, girl, you're going to heal. You're going to be all right. You good over it. But you hit my car? Oh, no.
Them spoke rims.
How about the Lincoln Navigator when you got into the 90s? Everybody wanted a Lincoln Navigator or a Cadillac Escalade. Well, actually, the Escalade came out in the 2000s.
Escalade.
The 2000s.
When I was hosting Comic View, I had that 2000 with the sunroof 2002 Escalade. Drove that baby all over the country.
And that let people know you made it. That let people know you made it. When you had, if you had a Cadillac Escalade in the early 2000s, you was either an entertainer, a drug dealer, but people knew that you had money. BMW. That's when BMWs became popular too in the 2000s.
Okay.
Black man working, black man's whips. BMW. That Mercedes S-Class. Now, you know Mercedes S-Class, that's every weed dealer, crack dealer. If it's a crack dealer right now doing life plus 25, that S-Class 2002 is behind his mama house sitting on rims. Just in case he get parole. Waiting on him to get out. That Range Rover, that's when black people started buying Range Rovers too. You know, some dudes right now driving an old Range Rover, still sitting on rims, thinking they, you know.
Right.
Chrysler 300 came along.
Yes, sir.
Right now.
Chrysler 300.
Right now.
But you know what sold the Chrysler 300? Now, a black man designed that car.
Yeah.
But you know what sold it was the grill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because it was designed to look like a Rolls Royce.
Right.
And in the words of the famous Cat Williams, he said, boy, a Chrysler 300, dude say it looked like a Phantom. Yep, until the dude in a Phantom pull up next to you.
Let them know how they can follow you, Special K.
Special K 913 on Instagram and on Twitter, man. Follow your boy. And also that Dodge Charger and that Dodge Challenger. That's the car of the
first 48 car.
First 48 car. They pull up on you, just pull off and get that red light.
Right then.
Worth it. Save your
Rickey
life.
Smiley Morning Show coming up.
Hold it. Half man, half woman.
It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T. It's Gary, baby.
Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Vanessa Bryant, the beautiful widow of Mr. Kobe Bryant, is being reported out that she gave a very touching speech, y'all, as Kobe was inaugurated, y'all, in the Basketball Hall of Fame recently. But a lot of people saying, honey, she did poke Mr. Joy and Miss Pam dirty, honey. Now, they're saying, y'all, that's Kobe's parents. Now, they said during the speech, y'all, they say Vanessa, honey, told the fans that she invited Kobe's mama and daddy, y'all, her mother-in-law and father-in-law to the event, that Kobe Bryant wanted them to be there, and she thanked them for bringing Kobe into the world. But they said at that time, honey, Miss Vanessa seemed like she was being very gracious with Kobe's parents, which whom, you know, they said she had a very strained relationship with over the years. And most people were listening to Vanessa's speech and they were just touched by the sentiments and believed that Kobe's parents were there. But come to find out, they say, honey, the parents were not there. They said they were not even in the audience, honey. Now, Miss Anessa Sims, she's the daughter of supermodel Beverly Sims and the NBA baby's mother to Matt Barnes, honey. She said, baby, that Vanessa did his parents dirty. She's saying that she didn't even invite them to the event, first of all. She said, first of all, she claimed that Vanessa never invited Kobe's parents to the Hall of Fame induction. And she said that Kobe's parents were informed by a third party about the Hall of Fame induction and were offered, honey, the opportunity to purchase tickets to the event. And they also alleged, y'all, that she said that they had to pay for their own airfare and their own accommodations, that she wasn't going to pay for it or whatever. Now they're saying Vanessa is worth nearly $1 billion, y'all, and did not offer to pay for the event for her wonderful parents, father and mother-in-law. And people saying it's sad. So since that didn't happen for the parents, they said, well, we're just not going to be able to go to the event then. And people saying Vanessa, honey, is just being a very mean person, and she got kids, and that's their grandkids, and they can't even see their grandkids because Vanessa is not allowing them allegedly to do this.
But if she had a relationship, if she didn't have a decent relationship with the mother and the parents of Kobe had issues with him or he had issues with them, you feel like now she should change, even though he felt a certain way, maybe allegedly about his parents. You think she should just do everything positive and do everything great now, even if that's not what he may have wanted?
Well, she should change with him to make things better. Now, since Kobe is gone, now she should at least make up, and they should try to come together, honey, just because of the sake of him. And she still has kids for Kobe, and that's their grandkids.
That's true, but her. Oh, I'm sorry, Ricky.
Yeah, for the sake of the kids, because the kids gonna grow up want to know what their fathers, more about my father. Okay, who are my father's parents? And whether they got along or not, the kids, and I would just hope when they get older that they would reach out and develop and try to have a relationship with the grandparents that Kobe did not have. Just because Kobe didn't have a relationship with the parents and whatever they went through, that don't mean that the grandkids have to go through it. I got a estranged relationship with my oldest son, but I love my granddaughter and see her often and all the time and stuff. And sometimes it just don't work out with the kids, but you can find joy in the grandkids. I don't
think none of those kids are old enough to have like kids yet. And I feel like she just living by how Kobe lived with his parents. I mean, some of those kids were old enough for Kobe to explain to them what the situation was.
He didn't do that.
If they still weren't, I mean, they may have asked about their parents. Huh?
How old are the kids?
The oldest one just got accepted to UCLA, so the oldest one is in college age, and the other ones are younger.
Yeah, they old enough. They ain't toddlers.
They're not old enough to have like grandkids.
Yeah, but those strained in-law relationships is easier said than done when it comes to fixing that stuff.
Easier.
Because it metastasizes over time and it just gets worse.
Come on,
and people get set in their ways, and people just don't. People are stubborn, and people just nobody wants to be the first one to say I'm sorry.
And we got to remember, Vanessa went through a whole lot of stuff with her own mother, with money and stuff, and her mother living on her. So
situations don't
she's probably
always
fed
just
up
unravel.
with that kind of stuff.
Well, that goes to show you that's her, honey. She needs to forgive if she having problems.
No, it's not maybe just her.
No, not if Kobe
It's
didn't.
everybody.
No,
all the adults involved.
But see, here's one thing. One thing we got to remember. Our grandparents dead and gone. But my grandmother, I realized that my grandmother, she's dead and gone, but she wasn't right about everything. Especially when it started with traditional stuff or whatever, how times change or whatever. We don't have to, just because she's dead don't mean that how things that she did when she was living was all the way correct. Not meaning that she intentionally did things wrong or whatever, but there were some things, that grandmama just was not right about, and then you have an opportunity to right the wrong or to just try to make things better. She wasn't evil or nothing like that, but, just old, set in their ways, stuck in tradition or whatever, and so if Kobe didn't have that relationship with his parents, that don't mean that it has to pull over into the next generation, because, some things through therapy and sit down and be worked out and talked about, discussed and fixed, and give them the opportunity that they didn't have with Kobe Bryant. Now he might be dead and gone, but I'm sure that at some point that Kobe go to bed and think about his parents every day, even though they didn't have a good relationship. Because I think about all my kids or whatever, even though one of my kids kind of estranged or whatever, but. You always think about them,
But if him and his wife talked about it, she not getting ready to just change her mind. If he was feeling strongly about it, like she's not going to do that.
But
and I don't blame her. Not right now.
No, but she
not right now when she feel like
her own brain.
It don't matter.
She does have her own.
Whatever
We're not
Kobe.
in the situation. We're not in the situation. So we can't speak for what she
Well, we know we're not in the situation, but we can speak on how we feel.
It's not just, and they'll tell you in a courtroom, it's not just about her. It's all about doing what's in the best interest of the kids. Now, are the grandparents some demonized, terrible people that should not have a relationship?
They were.
To Kobe, but he's gone.
He's just left.
I don't care if something happened to Vanessa. If something happened to Vanessa right now, the damn day, who gonna take care of those kids? Since she don't talk to her mother and father-in-law, who gonna take care of them?
I'm sure whoever's been a part of her village, she has a nice sized village that goes beyond her in-laws.
I'm sure them children, but I promise you this. I promise you them children have some kind of curiosity with their grandparents. And if they look at that man and look at that woman and know that their dad came from them, because I had a certain love and affection for my grandparents that like these people gave birth to my dad. And, and I'm sure, and that stuff that happened between them and Kobe don't have nothing to do with the kids. I don't know. They're just me.
The color of the day is Charmin. On the high end, you say Charmin, and on the low, just say white, honey. I don't know where y'all brains at, honey, but I just don't agree with it.
All right, that's all right. Y'all give it up for Gary with the T. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 24 minutes after the hour. Get at your boy, 8669 Ricky. Here we go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Because he woke you up this morning, slid you in your house shoes, so it be better. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Encourage each other and be productive. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show, wanna know where you calling from, so come on and tell us and just wake up.
This is London from Centerville. I just want to wake up my mom, my sister, my brother, and my dad, and my teachers, and my friends. I just want them to have a great day today. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning. This is Gia from Ocala. I want to wake up my wonderful husband, Wardell Crosby. Let's get the bag, baby. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Love you. I just want to wake up my husband, Roger, and everybody in the booth. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hello, this is Ayana, and I'm calling to wish my son DeAndres a happy 23rd birthday. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I want to wake up Columbus, Ohio, and my sister Saneri. Go ahead and wake up, wake up, wake up.
Gang of cities tuned in, lock in. What's yours? Because we gon' let them know. Let them know where you at, Portland. Wake up. And Charlotte, wake up. And Raleigh, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Come on, Baltimore, wake up. In Nashville, wake up. Indianapolis, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hey, appreciate it, Brad.
You welcome, Ricky.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it's the bottom of the hour. Man, listen, when I tell y'all racism is real, I went to this place called Manhattan's Pizza. It's like one of my favorite little pizza spot. It's like in the cut. Go in there and get my slice extra double crispy. Whatever I make it, I like for it to be crispy. Like I don't like soggy pizza crust. I don't know. I'm
with you on that.
Yeah. I go in there, and you know how they already have the pizza made, so they take it and then they just throw one slice in the little oven. But I always get that double crispy. So they got a little bar table that you can sit on outside. It's kind of low key, laid back in the cut or whatever. Don't be nothing but old Caucasian people, walking by. So this white lady came, and she was pushing this dog. This was the day before yesterday. I talked about it on Facebook. She was pushing this dog in the stroller. And I'm trying to help the lady, and I'm sitting right by the door. She pushing the dog, rich white lady apparently, but I guess she thought I was going to try to take her purse or something. And because she snatched and she tried her best to put her purse on the other side. And I'm trying to open the door for her. And she's like, no, I got it, like just real nasty. And she's struggling trying to get the door, and the dog in the stroller stuck in between, in the door or whatever. And it's sad as hell that somebody would be that mean, and only thing I'm trying to do is open the door for her. But come to find out, when I looked on the other shoulder, one of her arms didn't have no bones in it. I don't know what you call that, but it was.
I'm not Dr. Collier by any stretch, but
I don't know what you call it. You can Google it, but it's what?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
It is a thing. Her arm didn't have no bones in it. It was like a tenderloin attached to her shoulder.
You call it boneless?
Wait a minute.
Boneless. Yeah, boneless. It was just like some meat, and it just gross. I couldn't even eat. Like how you racist and
you gotta have at least an elbow.
No, it don't. You Googling it, George?
It just hangs.
You Google it. It just hangs. It had no elbow. She didn't have no bones, and I don't know what you call it, but to be racist, and I see that you got some stuff going on. Then she didn't have the arm in a sling or nothing like that, like the guy
Maybe
from
it was
2
an optical illusion. Maybe it just looked
it's
like
not,
that.
No, it didn't have any bones in it. Or if it did, the shoulder bones is not connected to the arm bones, so it was just swinging or whatever. And then she's like, I got it. She's like, I got it. I don't need you to hold the door open for me. And I was like, bitch, I'll tell you.
But the other arm had a bone in it.
Man, Huh?
The other arm had a bone in it.
Yeah, the other arm had a bone. She was able to open it with that. But you can't find the definition for it. But it is something.
It don't exist.
It does exist. I've seen people with no bones in the arm.
It's when you lose your bone density. So your bones basically start to decay, and aesthetically, it can look like you don't have a bone.
But the bone is in there?
So you just got skin, fingers, and arm just hanging there.
And it was just
Exactly.
swinging. And she went in that door so fast, the arm got, the door slammed on the arm. I just couldn't eat. I couldn't even eat after that. And then instead of her opening the door to try to let the rest of the arm in, she pulled it, and all of the everything, all of it, the fingers
just
got
stretched.
Yeah, it's stretched.
It's called osteoporosis.
No, girl.
That is not what that is.
Osteoporosis with the brittle bones, huh?
Hold on, Rick.
Yeah, that's when your bones get
She was
dry.
pulling the arm in, and the fingers and the hands got real swole because all of the blood flow was going into the hands and the fingers. But she trying to pull it in instead of opening the door, and it looked like somebody was pushing air in a rubber glove, and I couldn't eat after that. So I'll not be eating there again because that's the only thing I could think of. I called Kim on FaceTime and showed Kim when she was walking off with the dog in the stroller. I said, you ain't gonna believe this. This lady up here racist as hell and cursed me out for trying to open the door for her. But I wasn't making fun of her or nothing like that. I was trying to help her because she didn't. I noticed that she was only operating with one arm, but she had a damn dog in the stroller and couldn't get in there and slammed the little arm in the door. Or whatever.
You don't have to feel bad. I mean, you tried. You did the right thing, but you know.
I should have grabbed that arm and tied it in a bow and went on and got in my car and left. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
What's up? Get out of bed.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Man, Black Tony, what's up? You coming to work today?
I had already sent a message to the boss man, or what's your name, Derek. I sent a message to the producer man. I told him I wasn't gonna be there today. He said it's good because I told him why I wasn't gonna be there. And he said I'm proud of you. He said I'm proud of you, Black Tony, for doing this. But I ain't want to put out my business. I ain't want to put out my business.
Man, today is what's the day? Tuesday, bro.
Yo, I know, Shotty, but look, I ain't want to put my business in the script. But when you find out why I ain't coming, you're gonna be proud of me, Shotty. You're gonna be like, you know what, Shotty, you deserve it.
I'll be proud if you come to work, bro. Everybody else in their car going to work. You're not setting a good example for people in the community, and kids listen to us.
I'm here setting an example. Guess what I'm doing in the morning, Shotty? I'm finna go get fitted for my cap and gown, Shotty.
They're gonna get fitted for your cap and gown. You can do that after you get off work.
I'm graduating this weekend, Shotty.
From what?
I'm graduating on Friday, Shotty.
From what?
I've been in school. You ain't even know that. You don't even ask me no question. All you want to know I'm coming to work. You don't even know I've been doing good. I done start selling drugs, and I'm graduating this weekend, Shotty.
Graduating from what?
From Everest.
What'd you take up?
Every college. I've been going since 2006, and I got my associate degree.
In what?
Putting up ceiling fan.
They don't have no curriculum for putting up.
You've been in there since 2006.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T. It's Gary, baby.
All right, 6 minutes after the hour, Gary has the tea and the clue of the day. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening, y'all, in celebrity news. The prayer warriors are definitely, y'all, being solicited, honey. We got to continue to pray, y'all, for T.I.M.'s Tamika Harris, y'all. Now, it's being reported, y'all, that the LAPD has opened an investigation into the rapper and his beautiful wife over his sexual assault drugging claims. Now, according to the Daily Beast, y'all, they're saying that the LAPD started the investigation last month with a meeting with one of the couple's accusers, who's only identified as Miss Jane Doe. Now, they're saying, y'all, that the woman's accusations were made public in March. Now, the accuser, y'all, has claimed, y'all, that the alleged sexual assault took place in the hotel back in 2005, and the woman believed, y'all, that she was drugged before being asked to get into a shower with the couple, and she claimed that she drank some of Tiny's drink, honey, early in the evening, and then, honey, she claimed that later on that night, honey, she just, honey, felt they were both. She was naked and what happened. And she said that T.I. allegedly turned on pornographic show and said it just was a mess. But nevertheless, though, she's saying that she wants, I guess, justice to be served. But how can you go back way to 2005? How you remember something way back in 2005 and you just bring it up in 2021? Is there not a thing called the statute of limitation?
On some things, but if it was really traumatic, you can remember something from.
Really?
I don't know. This is just a mess.
Yeah, and I think somebody just really hating, honey, on them because, honey, they were doing great things for the community and what have you and stuff like that. And it looked like because when one person speaks, like everybody just all of a sudden just woke up like, oh, it happened to me too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that works, but it's interesting to find out it. But it's sad that we're gonna continue to pray for them, y'all, and see, honey, how this turns out.
You know what I think?
What?
I think that T.I. and Tiny party and they grown folks party and have a good time. And you see how people are. Everybody cool until somebody get mad. And when somebody get mad or whatever, and all y'all having sex together, drinking, smoking, kicking it or whatever, then you start, then they'll come with allegations. Then everybody that has ever partied, drink or smoked or kicked it with them got mad and figured and felt entitled to something. It's just my opinion now, because I done seen it too many times and I'm in the industry. And we know what to do and what not to do. And when a lawyer get in your ear, say, well, okay, if you say that such and such or whatever, you might not be able to prove it, but you can settle it for $25,000 and you broke and you don't have anything. You done kicked it with T.I. and Tiny. And you can say that they sexually assaulted you and you can settle for it because y'all ain't friends no more anyway because they moved on. And you settle for $25,000. So everybody that they ever kicked it with or whatever, because here's the thing. T.I. ain't out here raping nobody. That's a personal friend.
Exactly.
And Tiny come over my house and eat chicken and dumplings. Yeah. And I don't party with them like that or whatever, I don't drink or I don't smoke. But I know them to be good. I know they ain't out here raping people. That's a fact. And I put my life on the line and I bet that on anything I got or whatever. And I just believe that it's an opportunity or whatever for somebody. Ain't nobody holding. What T.I. He a big time rapper. Tiny is in Escape. Why they ain't got to go out and rape nobody?
Yeah,
I'm just being real.
Agreed.
So, but the thing about it is, we have to be smart or whatever, and you just can't have people around. If they didn't go to high school with you or some of your frat brothers, you just can't have them around because the minute somebody get mad. And they ain't getting what they was getting no more, or you ain't hanging with them no more, or you ain't helping them no more.
You better preach.
You'll see the whole nother side of a person.
You better preach.
Lived it. Trust me on that one.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We just
you know what it is.
Honey.
Man.
Shoot.
Lifted in prayer, honey, because that is true. That's definitely how it goes.
But somebody got to defend them. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
If you went and y'all was partying, you went to have a good time. You went to party. You ain't crazy. You went to have a good time too. Something didn't happen. You done got mad. And that's all I'm gonna say. And because they are not those type of people.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, and quickly, this is one more story, y'all. Let's continue to pray for Chrissy Teigen too. Now they done took her pots out of Macy's too. Now they took them out of Target last week, but they took them out of Macy's.
Are they on sale somewhere? Cause
they must be on. They probably on sale, honey. Yeah, they done took them out.
If you find them, Ricky, let me know.
They got them thick bottles in there. You can fry some good chicken because sometimes them cast iron skillets be too damn heavy and you can't wash them anyway. You can just wipe them out real good or whatever, put it up under the sink. But then that's how you get them cast iron skillets cause you to get roaches.
You probably catch some at Big Lots.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see how long John keep it because she ain't got no more pots, honey. They ain't got nothing in Target or in Macy's, so hopefully he don't divorce her because the pots not selling. All right, we just gonna keep us prayer then.
Because the pots ain't selling.
They ain't selling, so we gonna have to keep her.
I'll take a whole set. I sure will with them thick bottoms. You can cook some good. Those are good pots. Martha Stewart got some good pots too.
Mm-hmm. She went to the pen and still selling her pots. All right, the color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today is Charmin. On the high end, you say Charmin, and on the low end, you say beautiful white. That's your color for today, y'all. It's a bad thing.
Y'all give it up for Gary with the T.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news. It's what's trending now.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. So, as the masks come off and dating in real life starts to come back, dating mishaps are adding all-time high because people have literally forgotten how to date. Now, almost half of us have had something humiliating happen while on a date. But according to a recent poll here, there are some that are the most common. Awkward silences. And, that whole awkward, calling your date the wrong name. That happened. I don't understand that one.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I got a homie that did that.
Really?
Dude, that's horrible, man.
Yeah,
really?
Man.
You saw him
Listen
on the phone.
Listen to what?
Talk to him on the phone. He called the wrong name. He said, that's not my name. He said, dang, how many times you gonna change your name?
That's how he played it off.
That's how he played it off.
Going in for a hug or kiss at the wrong time. Man, you have to let stuff like that happen naturally and organically or whatever. You just can't be sitting up there plotting a kiss and then, have yourself together. Get you some Dentine ice and make sure you got some chapstick. And don't nobody want to be feeling like they kissing the outside of an Easter basket.
I went on a date one time and didn't have enough money.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
She ordered and I couldn't order no food.
Oh, so you said you weren't hungry?
Yeah, I had to play it off. I thought we were going to the movie and she wanted to go to Red Lobster.
Oh, no.
I only had $40.
Oh, no. What'd she get?
She got a whole feast. And I just ate a salad and ate a biscuit and just act like I ain't like seafood.
You played it off like you didn't like seafood?
Yeah, I thought I ain't like seafood.
Yeah, dropping food on yourself. People be eating. And listen, y'all, when you go on a date, make sure you use your napkin. You got to practice those table manners at home. After every bite, you make sure you wipe your mouth that you don't have none of that white gravy in the corner of your mouth or in between both of the lips, and you talking, and that little gravy stream be stuck on that top and that bottom lip be connected when you be talking. Like you had a seizure. Every now and then somebody on TV, on the news be talking, and then one little string of spit be attached to that top and bottom lip. Is so freaking gross. I just sat up there and changed the channel. I just like.
Hey, speaking of gross, I got one for you. What about passing gas in the car and then your date finna get in and you ain't had time to ride around?
Yeah.
And let it air out.
No, so what you have to do is you get out and let her in the car. And when she get in the car, then you pass gas on the way around. But let me tell you how.
You gotta stay out there long enough that it don't follow you, though.
Yeah.
It'll sit in your pants.
Done that before.
Yeah. Because a fart is low down. They'll get in the car with you, be sitting in between the seats like a kid, talking about where we finna go.
Okay.
Like, telling a joke that doesn't land. Whatever. And listen, I had a chick, telling that I had to speak at this event. I need to get a suit. And she told me that there's a place next to the Fairfield Inn called Embassy Suits. And she said, I can get one there. She said it's big. And she said a lot of cars going in and out of there. Or whatever. So I knew I was going to smash that night. I didn't embarrass her. I didn't embarrass her. But every time I pass by the Embassy Suites, I think of her. So,
oh, man. We forgetting one though, dog.
I gotta let that marinate.
Yeah, right. A lot of it's somebody in the car dumb right now. Well, I don't see what the problem is.
Still trying to figure it out.
It's the same chick that tried to open up an account at Joseph A. Bank. What were you about to say, Rob?
One of the most embarrassing moments is when that doggone credit card declines, Jack.
Boy, that used to happen to me one time at the Oceanaire. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Boy, I took this girl to the Oceanaire on Peachtree. Boy, that damn credit card decline ain't have a one. Boy, I had to call Gary. I said, Gary, please.
Gary to save the day.
I said, Gary, please come to my credit card decline. And then he gonna come to the table with the credit card out. I said, bitch, put the damn thing up, sit down and have a drink.
Yes, honey. That girl used to decline a lot, honey.
Be discreet, Gary.
I didn't know, child. I just had in my head a card.
Right. I'm like, well, sit down, have a drink, introduce yourself. Honey, this is Gary with the tea. I said, just go take care of it with the weight. Just go take care of it. Go take care of it with the weight. Just go take Oh, man, I couldn't.
The card declining is a rough one.
Ooh, boy, let me tell you something, boy. Yes, sir, I had a lot of card declining days.
Ooh.
Yes, sir, that was under bad management at the time. Yes, sir. All right, let's go to the phone. 866-9 Ricky, good morning.
So my date saw me naked on the first date. He was early coming to pick me up, and so I had to run and take a shower. My bathroom was actually in the back of the house. So I was running to take a shower, and I was trying to close the bathroom door. The bathroom door couldn't close. So I have a robe on the back of the door. I thought it was the robe. So I moved it, and I still couldn't close it. I'm like trying to slam it. I couldn't do it. I looked. There was a lizard behind the door. So I had to squish the lizard because I kept trying to, close the door. And I squished it. And so now I see this squished dead lizard. I start screaming. So he ran to the back of the house to see, what I'm screaming for. I'm just as naked as the day I was born.
On my first date with my husband, came to my house. I made chili. I informed him, don't eat the beans, take them out. It's just for seasoning. So when the date was over, when he was leaving, I asked him, aren't you going to kiss me goodbye? And he was rushing out, so he bent down to kiss me. And when he kissed me, he farted so loud. And I married him after that.
Wait, but did she say she married him?
Married him.
Yeah. And, oh, man, so you can fart and get married.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it, though.
Yeah. I just never was able to do that.
No, sir.
My kids said, do you ever do number 2? I said, absolutely not. All right. I'm sorry. All right, Rick Smiley Morning Show. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. Jeff, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to be with you. Man, Rick, if I see another CDC no mask meme, I don't know what I'm going to do. Most of you know that the CDC has said that if you are fully vaccinated, you essentially don't have to wear a mask. And I think that there are a lot of people that have already reported the fact that on one end, they thought the CDC went too far initially, and now they don't think they're going far enough. Some are like, finally, I don't have to wear a mask. But what's interesting and what I'm hearing, Rick, and some of the folks that I'm talking to is that we've heard this whole issue of herd immunity. And herd immunity is based on the number of people being vaccinated, ultimately overshadowing the number of people who are not vaccinated, creating a space that is safe for those who are not vaccinated to not have to worry about a mask. The problem is that if you live in communities that are under indexing on vaccination, then you don't have the same level of safety. And so I just hope that we are clear that while the CDC, I think, is trying to help people get back to normal, this announcement is really not reflective of a lot of the communities that many of us live in. And so I'm not here to be the mask police. I'm just here to ask people to be safe and really be clear that if you know that so many people in your community have not been vaccinated, haven't had access to the vaccination, haven't chosen to, believe that it's not for them and are not vaccinated, then what the CDC is saying, even if you are vaccinated, doesn't really apply to you. So I hope that we're careful wherever we are. I hope that we make decisions based on what feels safe to us and recognizing that as much as the CDC, I think, has amazing medical professionals who know far more than I ever professed to know, I also know that the data that they're using to make this decision is not accurate for all the communities that we live in. Rick, where are you at on it?
I believe that, if you with your family and y'all been vaccinated, everybody, you can be comfortable enough not to wear a mask or whatever. But when I go in the grocery store and I've had both shots and I've had COVID and have antibodies and T cells and everything else, I'm still going to mask up. So
I'm in the same place. And I'm in the house with primarily vaccinated people, except for the babies.
Right.
But I'm still like, no, if I'm going out, I'm masking up.
Right.
And that's really that's what makes me feel better. I have no scientific anything. I feel better when I'm masked up out. So listen, like I said, I hope that people try to seek accurate information. Rick, listen, there is a really interesting thing happening, and many of us are aware of the violence that's taking place in Israel and in Palestine. And Rick, for a long time, and you and I have been in this game for a while, I know that there were always, especially black folks, that were sometimes afraid of speaking up for Palestinians, saying anything semi-negative or critical about anybody Jewish.
Right.
Because in many cases, the Jewish community understood cancel culture before anybody else did, because they've canceled a lot of folks. And I always found it interesting, Rick, that there was all of this conversation about the historic relationship between blacks and Jews, but so often there was no room to ever be critical of Israel without it being said you were anti-Semitic.
Right.
And I have friends who are Jewish. I grew up in a suburb in Cleveland that was primarily black and Jewish. Have had folks when I worked at the NAACP, and never had anybody really explain to me, well, tell me the difference between critique and anti-Semitism.
Right.
And I never got a good answer.
Right.
Because so often what Jews have been taught to believe is critique is rooted in hate. And that was their own self-defense trauma that translated sometimes into this almost fanatical engagement that you can't say anything about them without being anti-Semitic. And my hope and what I'm excited about in this moment is I'm even seeing Jews who are saying they don't like what's happening in Israel, that they are proud Jews, but they don't like the policies of Israel. And that, I think, is encouraging, because that previous philosophy in a lot of ways is even imprisoning to Jews, where you've got to be in lockstep with Israel in order to be a good member of the Jewish faith or the Jewish community.
Right.
More importantly, for African Americans and black folks, we got to be in a place where if we're going to have alliances with people, then they got to have clarity about what does it mean to be able to critique as a friend versus being anti-something. And so I just wanted to throw that out, because in all of this, that was one of the things that was coming up for me the most. Rick, I know I'm about at time, brother, so I'm going to close it there. Y'all hit me at Jeff's Nation on all social media. Absolutely love y'all, and I'm going to check you on Thursday, brother.
All right, Jeff, we love you too, man. Appreciate it, Jeff. More Rickey Smiley Morning Shows coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I think everybody saw that on the talent show in high school, Secret Lovers, man. That video, they were sneaking around, kissing in the rain. Man, that song right there came out right after Orange Juice Jones, I Saw You Walking in the Rain. Oh, man.
Why the cheating song got to have such a beautiful melody, though?
I swear.
Yeah. So sweet and nice and angelic.
Man.
Steady creeping at
That's
the
the cheating song anthem, period.
What, Secret Lovers? Yeah.
Yes, it is, man.
Secret Lovers. Here we are, the two of us together, taking this crazy chance to be all alone. Golly. Knowing your wife at home with the children, sitting there with her roller set on, getting ready for Sunday school, and you out here just being a nasty tramp.
But she cheating too.
Yeah, she cheating, but I don't like the part though that's really dirty to me when they say that they're in the middle of making love and they both noticed the time. They both got nervous because it was way after 9. That's dirty. I mean,
yeah,
it's after 9 and you're supposed to be home, and it's just.
That's the latest hours for aftercare for the kids.
Yeah,
you got to go pick.
It's hard to explain where you at 9 o'clock though.
Yes, sir.
Especially on a weeknight.
Very hard.
You got to go over to aftercare person's house to pick up the kids because you done fell asleep. Tell them, man, you hit, get on up, get on up. And I know you tired and you dizzy because she done spent off the ceiling fan. Get up, wash yourself up, and stagger down that hall and go and just get in the car. Do not nap especially after some fire. You can't nap after no fire.
Nah, man.
No, not after no fire. Huh?
You wake up, that sun will be up.
Sure, you wake up, you done missed church, Sunday school. It's time to go to work. You done missed a whole day.
The whole mind warp.
Chicks out there, boy. If they drive a Honda Accord, don't do it. Don't fall asleep. If they drive a Nissan Sentra, don't fall asleep.
Or Altima.
Them the ones that got that fire. If they drive a Toyota Camry or Corolla, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fall asleep. But them be the ones, man.
Or that Lexus ES 350.
That's the come up right there.
Yeah, that means she got good credit and good.
She
and name the job. If she a nursing assistant,
CNA.
Yeah, CNA. If she working
dental hygienist.
Oh God, yes.
A leasing agent at an apartment complex.
You better talk this morning.
I'm telling you now.
God, you better talk this morning. 3rd grade and below.
On that classic flight attendant.
Yeah. Or if she, let me tell you something, these be the ones. Boy, if she can do micro braids, don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it. If she make wigs, don't do it. Best thing to do, man, just keep your eyes on the prize. Go home. We know your woman in there listening to Shirley Caesar, and she got on a slip and coffee stockings and or whatever. I don't know. You know, because your grandmama done told you that's who you need to marry. You married her and she ain't doing nothing sexy. She ain't gonna send you no sexy picture. She done sent you a picture with a slip on.
Drinking some coffee. With that one leg kicked up, that coffee cup in her hand. Drinking no damn Maxwell's.
What kind of coffee she drinking, Kay?
She drinking Maxwell.
Her grandbaby that came in and took a picture of her sitting on the side of the bed with a slip on and some stockings. Time I get ready for church, can't wait to see you later. That ain't sexy. That's why you in them streets with Lisa, man, because you don't want to go home. Don't nobody want to go home and make love to one of the caravans. You making love while she playing Sweeping Through the City by Shirley Caesar.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Hey.
You like that song, Mr. Thomas?
I love that song.
Oh, man. Beyonce. And you remember the one before that was Secret Lovers, Mr. Thomas?
Secret Lovers? What you know about that?
Yeah, that was back in y'all days, wasn't it?
Secret Lovers, yeah. That's what we are. So hard to find a way we free.
Sing it, Mr. Thomas. Sing it, Mr.
Thomas. But we can't linger to what we feel. So surreal. This is my part right here. Surreal. 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 That's all right.
You sang that,
all
Mr.
right.
Thomas?
Mr. Thomas, you sung that hook. Hit it one more time, Mr. Thomas. Sing it. I go, Mr. Thomas. Yeah.
Surreal. Damn, I'm about to
You had a secret lover.
Huh?
Mr. Thomas, don't they play that at the Elks Lodge?
They play that at the Elks, the American Legion, and the VFW. I love it. Surreal.
That's your favorite part, Mr. Thomas?
That's my part. Surreal. I love that song, right?
Yeah, I know you do.
My heart.
Do Maestro, you want to shout out your friend this morning? Say good morning to your friend.
You better believe it. My good friend down in Wabasso, Florida, Maestro Powell, picking them good old oranges at the Orange Grove over there near Port St. Lucie. The whole shebang over there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Thomas, let everybody know what your purpose, why you decided to come on this radio show in what what you're trying to accomplish in this lifetime, Mr. Thomas.
In this lifetime, you're right about that, nephew. I sure appreciate you giving me the platform. I'm on here to keep these little young jitterbugs off the drugs.
That's right.
Young jitterbugs walking the straight and narrow because they hardcore drugs they use and got them crazy. They're mind blown and they stealing and they doing all kind of silly stuff. But you know what? The onlyest way to minister to these young jitterbugs is to put them to listen to my song, one of my favorite songs.
There it is, Brother Thomas. There it is, Brother Thomas. Let's go.
You don't have to do drugs. Make a living.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to do drugs. You get by. And this what it'll make you do.
Come on.
It'll make you think. You get in the head. Oh, you know it. It'll kill you dead. Can't you see for yourself what good to do?
Here you go.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I think he fell out the window. Back in that chair, fell out the window.
Yes, sir. Get yourself. Get it.
Go.
Mother Thomas.
Hello. Somebody come get me off the floor. Get me off the floor. I don't fell on the floor.
You are totally obsessed with this song, Mr. Thomas.
I love it because you don't have to do that.
And let everybody know, Mr. Thomas, like if anything happened to you, tell them what they're going to put on your tombstone.
If anything should happen to me, you better believe on my tombstone, my epitaph going to read at the graveyard.
Yeah.
I done did my job.
Y'all give it up. Show your love. Get your kids off of drugs. The one and only Mr. Thomas, y'all. Come on.
Right, Mr. Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, have a blessed day, man.
All right, hold it on down, folks.
Yes, sir.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
News headlines.
Entertainment. Sports. It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 27 minutes after the hour, y'all. This segment's being brought to you by Indeed. That's right. Indeed believes that less is more. That's why they have powerful tools to help you source, screen, and hire quality people faster. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcille, here with a quick look at your front page news. President Biden has expressed support for a ceasefire in the increasing violence between Israel and the Hamas militants in Gaza. The death toll has now risen to over 200, and that is including children. But despite calls for peace, neither side is pulling back. Meanwhile, yesterday, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and their spouses released their tax returns, returning to a longtime presidential tradition that Donald Trump did not follow during his 4 years in office. Now, in other news, 2 black men in North Carolina who are brothers spent more than 31 years in prison for the rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl have now been awarded $75 million in a wrongful conviction lawsuit. Meanwhile, a former Dallas County prosecutor became the 4th lawyer in the country to lose a law license over what is called egregious misconduct by withholding evidence that led to the wrongful conviction of 2 black men who were sentenced to life over stabbing a pastor. DNA evidence later exonerated the 2. And last but finally not least in the news, the Supreme Court, which now has a very conservative majority, agreed to hear the major abortion case that could end Roe versus Wade. A final decision won't come until later next year, but the outcome could open the door to allow more states to enact more restrictive bans on abortions. All right, that was a quick look at your front page news. You can find me on all social media at Eva Marcille. Rock T, what's going on in sports?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm excited. It's about to get real in the NBA playoffs, man. The play-in tournament starts today. The first two games, man, 5:30 Central Time, Charlotte Hornets versus the Indiana Pacers. And then at 8 o'clock Central Time, Washington Wizards versus the Boston Celtics. This is why I like the play-in tournament, because these teams are all about even. They're about the same. This is the opportunity to say, okay, let's iron this out on the court. That way ain't nobody can argue and fuss about, we should have got in. Well, how come they got in? How come we didn't got in? We got the same records. Well, we beat y'all more. Man, come on, let's play for it. I love it. It's old school basketball. Let's get it on. LeBron James reaches another career milestone. 17 straight seasons, averaging at least 25 points per game. Even Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant never did that. They had 12 total seasons, so LeBron just keeps adding on to his legacy. Legendary NBA Hall of Fame announcer Marv Albert, the voice of basketball, has decided to retire at the end of this 2021 season. He's 55 years of calling basketball games, 25 NBA All-Star games, 13 NBA Finals, 1992 Olympics, 8 Super Bowls, the Stanley Cup Finals, NFL games, horse racing, tennis, baseball. Marv Albert is a beast, one of the greatest of all time. He's 79 years old and decided to say, you know what? This is going to be it. It's been a good run. Follow my social media platforms at Rock T Holla. Let's talk sports, man. The Brat got the hot spot. Let's go.
The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot and that's hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, y'all. Bottom of the hour, Rickey Smiley, the morning show segment's being brought to you by.
Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized touch after touch, use Microban 24 sanitizing spray. Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. The Brat, what you got there, pimpin'?
Good morning, Rock T. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get into it. Kandi Burruss, she's opened up about those issues with Boyz II Men. Now, Wanye responded, basically saying that the issue was due to how they would split the writing credits, and Kandi addressed this on her YouTube page, saying clearly he did not understand why I was offended. He made it seem like I just had an issue with the splits, but that is definitely not why I said they were my worst experience. I thought I had been cool with Wanye and Sean. I asked them how do they usually do that split when we're in the studio, and instantly attitude shifted. What you mean how we do our splits? I was like, well, I was just wondering because everyone has a different way of doing it. They said, oh, you want to talk about splits? So Kandi explained that they wanted to give the producer of the song 50%, which is normally how it happens, and they wanted to split the rest evenly amongst the group and Kandi, meaning they each would get 10%. Now, Kandi had worked on 2 songs with the group, and while she agreed that would work for one song that she worked on, the other song she handed them almost fully completed, so she said that ain't gonna work on that song. Mind you, on top of that, Nate wasn't even there, so she like, I'm gonna get the same as him even though he ain't here. She said that didn't make any sense to me. Eventually they agreed to give Kandi 25% on each song, but she thought that was fair. But then she said as soon as they got back to the car, their manager called her manager who was in the studio with her, and they said, we just thought about it, we ain't giving her 25% on the one song. She then said, and I can't believe they said, I can't even believe she even fixed her mouth to ask us about some splits. So Kandi then revealed that the next day when the group arrived to the studio, they did not speak to her and they did not want her in the room to discuss the song. Kandi said, I was mad because I was like, you would have never done that to another man.
Oh,
wow. I'm telling you, Kandi, keep it 100. If that's what happened, that is what happened, and I believe that because people don't be wanting to give up the splits. They just want to use you, and they don't want to give you your recognition as a writer. And Kandi is a prolific writer. She wrote Bills, she wrote Scrubs, she wrote a lot of songs with Escape, her own songs. Like, come on now, she wrote some stuff. I think Christina Aguilera, like a bunch of people. So you got to give her just due. Like, don't try to just give her 10% if she wrote the majority of the song, and somebody that's not even there trying to get credit for writing the song and you're not even there, that's just not fair. And that don't make sense to me. That's just not right. So I'm glad she said what it is, and that's what it is. Moving on, y'all. Could Rihanna fans soon finally receive her long-anticipated 9th studio album? Well, she's teaming up with Raja Verdi, a British director, to do a music video for her next album, the first in more than 5 years. Now, a source told The Sun Rihanna has been secretly working on new music for a long time, and her 9th album has finally come together. She has kept fans waiting for a long time, and the pandemic slowed up everything even more. The project is still tightly under wraps, but Rihanna will be filming a new music video in Los Angeles in July, so we cannot wait for that. Well, that's gonna wrap up the hot spot right there, y'all. Coming up next, we got Talk It Out Tuesday with Yanetta Spring, and we got the Praise Mixdown. The time now is 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's Talk It Out Tuesday with licensed professional counselor Yanetta Spring.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. It's Talk It Out Tuesday. Listen, man, y'all, please help me welcome licensed professional counselor Yanetta Spring. Yanetta, good morning.
Ricky. Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Man, we excited this morning. So for the month of May, we've been talking about mental health awareness, and I know you got something special for us this morning.
Yes. So we are still in Mental Health Awareness Month, and today I want to talk about, like, are you really okay? Right? Because I think sometimes we can get so accustomed to saying, like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. Like, when people ask us, are we all right? We're like, yeah, I'm good, I'm all right. But we really don't stop and pause and ask ourselves, like, how are we really doing? And one thing I found, too, is that sometimes I'm fine is like it's just a filler word. Right. It's not really describing how we feel. And sometimes we can be struggling for so long that we feel like it's normal. You know, like our struggle becomes that mental chaos, that depression. It's not fine. It's just familiar. Right. And one thing to be mindful of is our bodies are not designed to carry stress and anxiety and grief and depression for a prolonged period of time, you know. So you can be living in a body with just so much torment and stress for so long that our body starts to shut down and numb out. And we don't have the natural responses to pain because we've been feeling it for so long.
Right.
So just because it's always, you know, you've always had to live life this way doesn't mean you always have to. And it doesn't mean that that's like the best way for you to do it. And one way I like to describe this is, you know, sometimes when we've had like a lot of childhood stuff or we've had like painful periods of our life, we think what we needed to survive is what we're going to have to need for the rest of our lives to thrive. And if you use what you needed to survive and you're in a different season of your life now, you may not get as far as you need to get because those tools aren't necessarily needed for the season that you're in. So a way I'll describe that is, for instance, like if you were doing a triathlon, right? You know, with the triathlon, they swim, and then they get on a bike, and then they run. Mm-hmm. So how would it look if what you needed to swim, right, those movements that you had to use to swim are not the same movements that you're going to use when it's time to get on the bike?
That's right.
You know, and if you're still moving like you're in the water swimming and you're on land, you're not getting nowhere.
Right.
You know, you're going to be stuck. So if you are taking care of your mental health, great. Continue to do so. Encourage the people around you to do so. But if you feel like just for some, you know, there's a small part of you that feel like you might not be okay, you know, I invite you to take a mental health screening. So it's online, it's free, it's provided by Mental Health America. I'll have the links for it on my social media. And it's just a tool to give you a quick snapshot of where you are with your mental health. You know, if it says that you have mild or severe depression, it's not a diagnosis, right? It's just kind of letting you know where you are so then you can go find a therapist or your doctor to talk about it to see what the next steps could be to getting you to feel better.
Now, Yanetta, now I was always told, when we're going to go back to when you said people ask you how you feel. Now, when I was told that when people ask you how you feel, you say, oh, I'm feeling fine, even though you're not feeling fine, but you just say, I'm feeling fine because they don't care how you feel. Because if you start saying, girl, my name, oh, girl, let me call you right back, girl. Oh, I'm going to call you right back. So you start telling them how you feel. They, oh, let me get off the phone quick. Oh, girl, you would. And people don't really care how you feel when you tell them how you feel. So that's why people say, how you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling fine.
And the thing about that, Gary, is it's not about if they care. It's about, do you care?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So saying you're fine is just you acknowledging how you feel. They
Even though
may
you may
or
not
may
be feeling fine.
Right. Even
some
though,
people
but
just
if
say
you
it as
keep saying
a figure of speech. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, they don't really mean how you doing. It's just a figure of, like, that's their way of saying good morning or good evening. How you doing? You know.
Yeah, and it gives us an opportunity to start having some authentic conversation. So you acknowledging how you feel isn't for that other person to come in and, you know, help you feel better all the time. It's for you to be able to acknowledge, you know what, I'm having a rough day today, or, you know, I'm not feeling too good. And then
sometimes when people say that, you know, you don't have to go into all the details. Just say, look, let me just give you a hug. Let me give you a big old hug because you needed that hug, and I'll be praying for you. And that keep you out of the details, because sometimes people be having some heavy stuff, and you going through some heavy stuff, and it could be too much. So sometimes, how you doing? Well, I'm not doing well, girl. I know it's a lot, but let me just give you a hug and let you know that I love you, and I'll be praying for you.
That's right.
And here's the number to some good therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not qualified to counsel or listen, because you know, you just buried your grandmama last week, and you're going through it too. But just be there in support of each other with just a simple hug and simple act of kindness without getting into the details, but point them to therapy, because that's why we have you here, to get people going to therapy and get people talking about getting help, because you just cannot handle some of this stuff and dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder from just a death in the family. You can have PTSD. So, you know, I'm so happy we're talking about therapy and getting people, snapping people out of tradition and religion. You know, give it to God and he'll work it out. Sure he will, but he sure did create some therapists for us to talk to.
Absolutely. That's it right there.
Yeah, so if you thought about going to therapy and you have a question you'd like to ask Unetta, you can hit her up. How can they reach you?
Yeah, so you can find my website, springforthcounseling.org. You can follow me on social media platforms at Springforth Counseling, YouTube, Unetta Spring, or if you want resources, text the word SPRING to 55444.
There it is. Y'all give it up for Counselor Unetta Spring. All right, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.